It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
No fear, no fear, no fear here on Declare Your Independence. I'm Ernest Hancock here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, this has been a subject that anyone that's been listening to the show over the years, this is something that I've been focused on off and on for a long time, and it's building up to where, man, here we go. In fact, I've been in communication with theater chains here in Phoenix, and it's going to be a big project that we have on a lot of levels, and it basically comes down to this. It is amazing to me that I would have, as I raise 4 teenage children, they now are 21 to 25, 2 boys, 2 girls. As I having to go through the years, we want to go see horror film, slasher, blood splattered on the screen film sequel 14. And, I would rather you watch pornography than pollute your brain with all this violence and crap. Now, of course, my wife would, can we have them not watch both? So my point is this. What kind of society is it where you have Team America, guys that do South Park, where you have puppets having sex, get an NC-17 rating, and you have to cut scenes of puppets, but, as long as Freddy Krueger is slashing the breast off campgoers and slinging blood and guts all over the screen, that's okay. Who makes these decisions? How is that done? There was a movie in 2006 that was called This Movie Is Not Yet Rated. We did lots of show on that. We were trying to get the director and producer, and we're going, we want to talk about this. Because it belies something else. There's something else behind it. And to help us with that, Kirby Dick. Kirby Dick is director and of this movie, and he's got another one coming out. We'll say a little bit about Outrage, is about all of these politicians saying how much they're against homosexuals while they're going to the hot tub at night. So that'll be interesting. We want to promote that. But I tell you, Kirby Dick, I got you there.
I'm here. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Kirby, help me out. This film is not yet rated. I want to go ahead and get it from you. Why did you make that movie, and what did you learn from it?
Well, I made the movie. I'm an independent filmmaker in Los Angeles, and I've seen how the rating system has really censored independent and foreign films for decades. As I was aware that there was a secret ratings board of about 13 people that was run by the MPAA, which is the lobbying organization, state organization for the major motion picture studios. That this secret ratings board was rating not only their own films, which would be fine, but their competition's films, which was, the independent and foreign films. And no one had been able to find out who these raters were or how they operated for 40 years. I mean, a Nightline, NBC, everybody tried to get in, they couldn't. So what I did is I made a film where I followed a private investigator step by step as she went about her way and eventually got the names of all the people who actually rate all the films in this country.
Okay, now give us a little bit of history on this. This film rating industry, they go on and they make a big deal out of the fact, hey man, we're not a government agency. And I'm going, they're confusing me with someone that cares. It seems that they are acting as a cultural censor gate to promote whatever agenda is certainly supported by the government, or the government come take them over. They don't need to take them over because they got them doing their bidding anyway. Or they got the government doing their bidding, or, it's such this incestuous relationship. So go back in the beginning of this rating agency, where it came from and what they're doing.
Well, the rating agency as we know it right now was set up by Jack Valenti in 1968. And he was hired by the at that time, I think there were 8 or 9 major motion picture studios who wanted to get control and keep control of the rating system so that no one else, whether it be the government or just an objective group of experts, would be rating these films at all. They wanted to be the people that would rate all the films in this country. And so they set up this rating system where it was so secretive and it was so much under their control that no one was actually able to figure out what was going on, and everybody let them go ahead and just rate the films they want to. Well, the problem is like you said, is that it's basically cultural censorship, because they go ahead and rate their movies very lax. I mean, like you said, they let all kinds of violence get through. Any films by, big directors, those get through with very light ratings. But films, art films and films by independent filmmakers, they rate much more heavily. Okay.
Now, this is how this came into the news again here of late. Jon Stewart from The Daily Show did a great piece on a Supreme Court decision where they came out saying that the regulation, the censorship of video games in the state of California, Schwarzenegger signed something into law, says, okay, we're going to regulate this in this way. It goes to the Supreme Court, and they say, nope, because, well, as long as it's violence and you're ripping people apart and blood splatter and everything, that's okay. If it had any sexual content in it, regulate away, okay? So my thing is that the motivation that you're saying is economic, because we have theater chains that are in this, because I'm looking at from more than just economic, but we'll go ahead and get it examined here. That's why I'm very happy to talk to you, is that we have economically, we have different theater chains that will say, okay, we subscribe or we put on the front of our previews, and it says this movie is approved for all audience by the Motion Picture Association of America, and they have a logo in the front and it's rated. Is there some kind of club that they got to belong to? And is it independent theater chains like here in Phoenix? We have Harkins Theaters. Now they, start off small and they got a bunch of theaters all over the valley here. So I'm wondering, do they have to sign on to something to get this rating, or could they just say, hey, bite me and we're going to do our own rating?
Well, the producers of the film actually have to go to the MPAA.
Why do they have to?
They don't have to, but if they don't, then get a film rating. And if they don't get a film rating, it goes out unrated. And people think that unrated films are the same as basically X-rated films. So a lot of newspapers won't advertise them. Some DVD stores won't carry them. A lot of movie theaters won't, project those films. And so it actually cuts in to, their bottom line, really. And so producers, in order to recoup their investment, they basically make their directors, agree right from the beginning that they're going to go in and get the film rated. And as a result, what happens is that because of this restrictive kind of anti-sex attitude of the ratings board, one of the reasons you see so many of American sex scenes all looking very similar, compared to European sex scenes, is there's this very restrictive there's this very restrictive approach that the rating systems take, and it makes all those, it has to go through that in order to pass.
One thing that I found of interest, and we got plenty of time, we'll get to it, we're coming up on the break, but I found of interest is someone appeal this, assuming you even get an appeal, they start bringing in clergy.
Oh, right. Yes. Once you go through the ratings board, which is the secretive ratings board, it actually goes to another secretive board. I mean, nobody knows who this is. It's the appeals board, and the filmmakers have one more chance to overturn the rating to get an appropriate rating. And on that appeals board, at least in 2006, there was a member of clergy.
Yeah, you see where this is getting interesting. When we come back here on Declare Your Independence with Kirby Dick, we're going to try and understand what the future is. Is there, with the internet and people out there rating it on their own, will it change? I don't know. What can we do? We'll talk about it when we come back in just a little bit.